Welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
On tonight's episode 125, we look back at the Leafs win over the Islanders. They were finally able to hold on to a lead. They didn't blow it, and they won 3-1. First time in 2 weeks. We take a look at what the Leafs need to do regarding the defense going forward. Mitch Marner continues to look good since returning to the lineup, and we'll look ahead to next week's game. Plus, we got a special edition of the Saturday Night Five this week. We're doing top 5 SNL cast members of all time. All this and more coming up on episode 125. How are you, Dale?
Holy, 125. 125. Oh, I remember just yesterday when we were in diapers and had our training wheels on.
That's right.
But 125.
That's right. Before we get started, just quickly, I just want to note something. One of our listeners, one of our friends sent me this asking if we would get behind this change.org happening in Toronto. They're trying to close down the Wallace Emerson hockey rink. It's a well-used public space. It's integral to the community. People have been using it for years to play hockey. They want to get rid of it and build some other stuff like a skate trail and things, but there'll be no place for people to play pickup hockey. And we all know right now, if you have kids in hockey, it's very expensive. And it's nice to be able to just throw on some skates and grab a stick and go play. And in big cities like Toronto, people don't have big backyards to put in rinks and stuff. They need this. So if you go to change.org and search for the Wallace Emerson hockey rink, you can sign the petition. They're trying to get 2,500 signatures to have the city stop the tear down of the Wallace Emerson hockey rink. So hit that up because we love seeing young kids out there practicing their tips all over the
Absolutely.
country.
Just like you were doing yesterday.
I was.
Caught that. Looking good. Perfect form.
Thank you.
Could be getting a tryout in the near future.
Yeah, well, if you just want me to stand there and tip, I can do that. But if I have to move, no.
Little soft for my liking, but good form.
I said soft tip.
I know. I like them a little hard. I like them a little harder than that.
It was kind of a soft shot.
Yeah, that's true. Like any tip counts. Fuck, we're desperate for fucking tips at this point. We haven't had a tip in for fucking forever, man. We haven't had a tip since before Christmas.
No,
Jesus.
we have not.
Holy fuck, just absolutely dying for a tip here. So what's the deal with the arena then? Like, do you know why they're tearing it down or why they want to tear it down?
The Wallace Emerson hockey.
Do you know what the deal is?
It's an outdoor rink and they just have plans to build other things there. I'm not sure if they want to build a condo on there or close by, and then they're going to do like a skating trail, so not a rink, just like a little piece to skate around and a leisure skate, kind of like a very small Nathan Phillips Square. But this is like an outdoor hockey rink with boards and nets.
Oh, it's an outdoor rink. It's an outdoor. I missed that part of it. It's an outdoor rink.
Sorry, it's an outdoor rink where guys can show up completely free and play shinny.
Okay, I missed that part of it.
So
I thought you were talking about like
No, kids can go play shinny. Like you think right now, it's all closed down. You can't play hockey in arenas. Kids can't go play. This gives them something to do, and they should keep these things open. So go to change.org, look for the Wallace Emerson hockey rink, sign the petition today.
I thought you were talking about the old, we got the old North Crest in Peterborough, Ontario here, and they're ripping that bitch right down, and they're building a fire hall there. So that's all good. Like North Crest is
terrible, pretty rough.
Terrible fucking rink anyway, and the city of Peterborough was supposed to be working on a new twin pad or some shit. I'm sure that'll happen in the next 20 years. The Pete's have supposed to be getting a new building for the last, I don't know, probably my entire life, but they just keep pumping renovations into the Peterborough Memorial Center instead of just building a fucking desperately needed state-of-the-art rink like the Oshawa Generals or the London Knights. Not Peterborough. No, fuck. City Council will take another fucking decade to decide if they just even want to build a fucking new building.
Yeah, not even like where or how. Just do we want to do it? Yes or no?
Unfucking believable. Yeah. But anyway, okay, I'm with you, buddy. Good. That's good. Hopefully, for sure, man. Fuck building. Let's keep the rinks alive. Let's keep that going. Love it.
Hockey's expensive. Kids got to play. So anyway,
work on their tips.
They got to work on their tips. Leafs,
start them young.
Last podcast, we were pretty heated because the Leafs had blown a lot of leads.
Yes, yeah, kind of. It was not looking good.
Wasn't looking good, but they head into the island and they come out with a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, man.
And look at that. Look at that. We talked about this last podcast. The Islanders were hitting them left, right, and center, and the Leafs won the game.
Yeah, but I know exactly why they won. There's only one reason they won this game.
Islanders can't score.
No, that's not it. Well, that had something to do with it, but
groin.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if you caught this, but right off the top, man, Mrazek's in net. They're giving Jackie Boy a little break because, well, he'd been fucking letting pucks in left and right lately. Basically, Jack Campbell, our boy, shout out. But Mrazek gets in there. His groin's apparently feeling better. I don't believe it, but apparently it's feeling good. But I don't know if you caught this because right away I'm like, oh, I can't see anything shiny on his fucking mask tonight. No shiny objects to be found.
Yeah, I was looking at it last night because you had said in the away he wears the chrome dome.
He switched it up. He said, nope, not doing the chrome. He went with just a normal fucking blue and white painted fucking mask. Look what happened. The groin was looking better than fucking ever last night.
That was the best game he's played.
Did you see the one glove save he made like in the second where he like made sure everybody on the ice knew, like, I got it right here. It's right here.
He did the old goalie thing where it gets shot right into your glove, but you make it look fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, hey, man, shout out. Keep that chrome bucket maybe on the download. Just rock the fucking same one that you wore last night. Try to keep her going, and we'll see. We can get to this later, or we can get to it now. Does Mrazek get the next start? Does he get 2 in a row?
No, I don't think so. I think you go back to Campbell.
Oh, boy.
What has Campbell done this? I know he's had a bit of a rough stretch, but has Campbell not earned the right to go back?
No, I know, but wouldn't it be nice maybe to get Pete going here?
Oh, if they want to give Campbell rest,
do you want to get anything out of that contract at all, or?
Yeah, I know. $3.5 million.
3 games. He's making $1 million a game at this point so far. Fuck, man.
He's making $3.5 million per win.
Jesus.
So far this season.
That's unbelievable. So anyway, okay.
Good job, Groin.
Shout out Peter Mrazek. Love it. The month-long road trip is over. They're now going to go back to Toronto to play the Ducks, I think, on Wednesday for their first home game. I don't know what the deal is. Probably no fans, maybe 500 fans. Who the fuck knows? I can't keep track anymore. I don't know up from fucking down at this point, what's going on in Ontario. But so the Islanders, right? Like, I mean, they've come on a little bit after their slow start, COVID. They had been playing a little bit better as of late. This was the second of a back-to-back for the Islanders, but the Leafs go in there and, what did you think overall? Like, I'll get into the scores, the goal scores and all that, but overall, what did you think here? Like, because Keith had previously called them soft going into this, like, were you looking for a response here? What did you think? Like, what did you think of what was going to happen and ultimately how they played?
I thought it was the response I was expecting. They played.
What are we talking, hard here or at medium?
Medium. They played a solid, hard road game. Like, they didn't make a bunch of mistakes. They weren't trying to be pretty. They got the win and they got out of town. And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of a long road trip. I thought that was the response. That looked more like the team we had seen earlier, where they were just knocking off wins and just going in and getting the W and getting the hell out.
I'll tell you something, though. Varlamov looked like absolute shit in that hockey game. A couple of those goals were unbelievable. Like, no chance those goals should go in on an NHL goalie. But you got to take it. You got to take it. Take it for what it is.
Got to take it.
But I agree. So we go in. So the Leafs end up getting outshot in this game, 28-23. Face-offs, everything else hits. Everything was pretty much even in this game, actually, for the most part. 0 for 3 on the power play for the Islanders. 0 for 2 on the power play for the Leafs. No real standouts as far as like, I didn't, like the third line was kind of good again. I just thought it was an overall better team game. I'll touch on the defense as we get going a little bit further into the podcast here. But anyway, Marner gets, they at least take a couple penalties in a row about halfway through the first period. Marner gets a breakaway, shorthanded goal, completely loses control of the puck, fucking goes in the net anyway. So
at first I thought he did that on purpose.
No, he didn't.
But then when they showed the replay, I was like, oh my God, did he just pull off the move?
No.
And then they showed the replay. He totally just fumbled it and it slid under the pads.
But hey, man, like, so here we go. 3 games back for Marner, 3 goals and he scored in every game since he's returned. So he's been looking good. And I thought he played well on both ends of the puck. There's a play or both ends. Yeah, like defensively, he was strong, I thought too. There was a play. I don't know if it was in the second period, whatever. The Islanders were it was kind of shaping up to like a 2-on-1. Brody was back, but Marner was like trying to catch up and take his man. And he did. He caught up and he ended up like deflecting the puck into the corner. So I thought Marner, pretty solid game overall. Yeah, just defensively a good game, and he contributed offensively, so it was all good. But Parise gets a goal for the Islanders, and then Engvall with like at the 1959 mark of the first period, just like a little like this looked like a fucking curling rock going into the net. Like it was going about the pace of a fucking curling
with only 1 second on the clock.
Yeah, like not even less. It was like 0.4 of a second on.
But by the time from when he let it go off his stick to the time it crossed the line, he had like only a second to spare, and you're right. He slid it like a curling rock.
Yeah, it looked like he was just curling it into the net, no problem. So I don't know how that like went in. Varlamov, brutal goal. I thought the first one was bad, but I could see that one. This one was just like no way that should go in on a fucking NHL goalie. But anyway, I heard they're looking for a goalie in Edmonton, so maybe they'll be calling the Islanders for that one. Maybe. Who knows?
You never know.
They finally won a game, last night, the Oilers. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
They beat the Flames 4-3, I think, after getting thumped by the Panthers a couple nights earlier, like 6-0 at home. We got fucking Jersey Gate in Edmonton a couple nights ago.
But the Panthers are steamrolling everywhere.
I know.
It's scary, man. It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
I said it a few podcasts ago, like, I honestly would rather, watching them, I'd rather the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first. I would rather the defending Stanley Cup champions than the Florida Panthers, the way the Panthers look right now.
It's going to be tough either way. I got a little bit on that later after the recap. But anyway, so Engvall, the goal count is 2-1 Leafs after the first. We go to the second period. I don't know, kind of just, it wasn't the most exciting game. It was kind of, there wasn't a lot of
That's the Islanders.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't.
I don't know how their fans do it, man. Barry Trotz and that style of hockey is so fucking boring.
It is, but I would take it
if you're winning.
Dude, conference final 2 years in a row, a game away from the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row.
But this season, when you're kind of out of it, like let's play some run and gun. Let's let her go.
Yeah, well, that's not Lamoriello or Trotzy. They don't do that shit.
No, they don't do that.
It's the same. Stick to it always. But anyway, so Riley ends up getting on the board with a fucking nice pass from Nylander at the halfway point of the second period to make it 3-1 Toronto Maple Leafs. Every fucking single game on this road trip, except the Arizona game, the Leafs have had a 3-1 lead in every fucking hockey game.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to text me.
No, I was just like, I'm not even gonna this. I'm just gonna let it fucking be.
This was a lead, and they got the 3-1 lead in the second period. Haven't all the other games they've gotten the 3-1 lead in the first.
Earlier. Earlier. But still, we're only at the halfway point in the game. It's 3-1. There's tons of time for a comeback. Did not fucking happen, man. Did not happen. Islanders couldn't get it going. That was the end of the scoring. That was it. There wasn't even a lot of like Mrazek played pretty well, I thought. When he needed to make the save, he made the save. And recently with Jack, that wasn't happening. So for multiple different reasons. It wasn't a
memorable game though.
No,
I got the W, but we're not going to look back and ever talk about this game again.
No, 100%. No way.
It's over. It's done. We got
it fell flat. It was a dud, basically. It really was. The goals weren't great. Riley's goal was the nicest goal. Marner's goal and Engvall's goal were not good at all. But so there wasn't a lot of excitement in this game. But Riley stays hot, I guess. I don't even know where he's at now with 5 goals and maybe 30 assists or something like that. Yeah. Like he's having since he signed that contract, man, Riley's been just dynamite. And
it's hard to believe, like, at the start of the year, we were questioning him.
Well, he didn't start well. Neither did anybody.
Look at what he's got going.
I know, it's crazy.
Unbelievable. So, yeah, it's an unmemorable game. Leafs win 3-1. We move on. So you wanted to talk about the defense.
Yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah, I do. Before that, let me just look here quickly to see. Did anybody? Okay. So Riley ended up having a 2-point game, 1 goal, 1 assist, and Marner just a 1-point game with a goal. But yeah, so Morgan Riley, I guess, like staying hot.
Staying hot.
Good to see. Yeah, quickly, we should have probably touched on this off the top, but we're still fairly recent into the episode here. So we should probably say a favorite of ours on the podcast for, well, probably ever since we started, unfortunately passed away between the last podcast we did and this one. And I'm talking about Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Yeah, man.
And I mean, what was he, 74, I think? I think he was 74.
Yeah, he was 74.
I saw that you did a cover and like it was on Facebook and like on your YouTube and stuff, a cool cover of Meatloaf. And yeah, man, I just think that, they didn't really say, I mean, at that age, I mean, was he sick? I don't know. Was he sick? Did he have cancer or was there something?
No. He wasn't sick. He had complications. Like, he was a bigger guy. He was 74. It just happened. I heard rumors that he had like died of COVID, but I didn't see anything like news published about that.
Right. Okay. So anyway, just
but he could have had pneumonia or something like that.
Could have. Meatloaf. Do you know the name of his original band? And do you know how he got the name Meatloaf?
I do, not off the top of my head, but I've seen his documentary.
Okay.
But I don't remember how.
Just quickly, his first band, his first band was called Meatloaf Soul, after a nickname coined by his football coach because of his weight. Meatloaf. His football coach called him Meatloaf. Jesus Christ, that would have been what, 70s probably? Who the fuck knows? What was his hate? Well, no, he was when did Meatloaf come out? 70s, mid 70s?
Yeah, it would have been mid 70s. He came out, and then he had the big album, Bat Out of Hell, and that was probably released in the late 70s.
Right.
He didn't make a dime off it. He signed one of the worst contracts in music history, but I saw Meatloaf live.
Oh, no shit. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I saw Meatloaf live at Casino Rama. I was young. So this was a long time ago. But
well, he was successful in the 70s, but he still was successful into the 90s with like he
came back with Bat Out of Hell too, and I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Yeah.
And he always did things like he was in movies. He was in Fight Club. He was in Tenacious D, that movie. He played Jack Black's dad, I think.
Was he in Roadhouse?
No, he wasn't in Roadhouse.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he was in
Jeff
Roadhouse.
Healey was in Roadhouse. Yeah, he did a lot of movies. He did a lot of stuff. But it's sad, man.
Yeah. So I just thought bring that up because we always talk about like not necessarily Meatloaf directly, but whenever you hear like 2 out of 3 reference or 3 out of 4, whatever, we're always talking about Meatloaf, right? So. And we will continue to do that, obviously. But anyway, just wanted to bring up his passing. Unfortunate news. That's like fucking 2 out of the last 3 podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Saget, Meatloaf, Jesus.
What I want to say about seeing him live is he was probably in his 50s at the time. It was probably 20 years ago. And he's a bigger guy. He gave it. Like I've seen like so many concerts with guys who are young and in great shape, and they don't give half of what Meatloaf gives. Like he comes out, he's running around stage, he gets into it, he's screaming, he's sweaty as anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this guy knows how to entertain. Like he is giving it. So
maybe that's why the coach named him Meatloaf. I don't know.
Meatloaf Soul.
Anyway.
And dude could sing. Holy shit, dude could sing.
No doubt. So anyway, then, just
back to hockey.
Yeah, back to hockey. So the Leafs were finally able to hold on to a 3-1 lead for the first time in literally 2 fucking weeks. Like literally the first time they haven't blown a lead in 2 weeks. So hopefully that shit's over with now. Hopefully we can put this road trip behind us and just not blow any more leads. I'm done with the blowing the loads of leads. Okay. You want to blow one more? Maybe there's one more left in the tank. But then that's fucking it. You got to stop. It has to end right here. Cannot continue to do it. So impressive, I guess, considering, like I said, it was the first lead that they haven't blown in 2 weeks. So anyway, we move on. But yeah, so I would like to just say as well, like we'll go quickly, few things here. Marner's play since his return. Impressive, right? Right before he returned, we were doing, I think, wet puck or dry stick. And I'm like, do you think Marner can come back and lead this team in points? You're like, no, there's not enough space there, whatever. And, it's only been 3 games, but he's looked impressed. Like, can you keep this pace up? this pace up? I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe he just now is going to go back to like what the old Mitch was. And
he's paid to keep this up.
I hope he does, man. But like the slumping Mitch at the beginning of the season, and like he didn't really look like himself, and just, you know what I mean, the power play struggles, all this stuff. Like maybe this guy gets back to what he was before, and he's just, I don't know. That would be great. That would be fucking huge for this team. So yeah, and I don't know. I just wanted to mention. I just think Marner's looked better since his return. Like he's noticeable. He's doing something every game. Note that you can notice him in, and so I don't know. I've just been impressed with Mitch since his return. Engvall's been contributing too almost every game since his return. Again, that third line was pretty solid, but I don't know if you want to mention and jump in there on Goose or Marner's play since they've returned at all.
Yeah, I think Marner's looked fantastic, and we kind of expect that from Marner, so I think he's just he's earning his paycheck. We all talk about the contract, he's earning his paycheck. Engvall, on the other hand, I think Engvall has found a spot on this team. We didn't think he had a spot at the start of the year. For now, but he looks good on the third line. He's not playing. They're not playing him out of position. He's not moving up the lineup any higher. I think he has a solid defensive guy with David Kampf. And I think when you put Cachet back on the line, it's a pretty solid third line, and I wouldn't break it up.
I believe that was his 5th goal of the season. I don't have the stats in front of me right now. I could bring them up, but I'm not going to. But I think Simmons and Spezza they maybe have 7.
I guess like Mikheyev's going to take that spot on the third line.
Oh, yeah. Well, he
Cachet comes back.
Oh, yeah, of course. Engvall will drop back down.
But right now, he's found a spot on that third line with David. He looks good. It's good to have that.
Look, let's be honest here. Like, other than Ilya Mikheyev, fucking Cobra, like, we have not had, especially on this road trip since the COVID return, really, other than him, has anybody scored in the bottom 6 other than Goose, other than Engvall?
No.
I couldn't tell you the last time Spezza, Simmons scored. Like Camp's not an offensive guy, so you don't expect it there. But but you do expect the odd goal here and there. But you are right. Spezza's been pretty quiet, but he carried the team at the start of the year. So yeah, I think Spezza will get going again here. But just the bottom 6, there's no other than Mikheyev and since Engvall's return, they're the only 2 guys right now in the bottom 6 putting the puck in the net. Yeah. So I don't know. It's anyway. Yeah, so I guess whatever. Hopefully Mitch can keep up that play. And yeah, Engvall, I mean, Engvall's kind of gone back in and out of the doghouse with us on this podcast. Like, he's got potential. There's ability there. Like, he is a good skater. He's not a dumb player. He makes pretty
sometimes,
but he's not as dumb as, you know, I don't think his hockey
he's not as dumb as Thick Dick.
No, he's not as dumb as Thick Dick Nick, but who the fuck is? Like, we could be talking the lowest hockey IQ in the league with Thick Dick, and we'll get to Thick Dick later. And I'm not talking about Nick Ritchie.
Okay, so yeah, Engvall is like, we don't want to build him up to be more than he is. He's a solid bottom 6 forward.
Yeah, for sure. Which could end up being out of the lineup depending on what happens here. Like,
which I'm okay with. Because he's shown that if they get into the playoffs and someone gets injured, you got people who can jump in and play.
Yep.
On the back end, I don't know, but
okay, let's go there then. This is where I was going to go next. So
you're okay up front. There's no reason to tamper with the forwards.
Yeah, I would agree with that as of right now. But here's what we'll say. So for the second straight game in a row, going into that Islanders game, Muzzin and Hall still a no-go. No idea what's up with Muzzin timeline because of the concussion. Either he could be dealing with something else as well. I don't know. Hall, COVID. I imagine you'll see Hall and Cachet probably get back in on Wednesday. They'll have these next 3 days. They were probably off Sunday, and they'll probably be on the ice, you know, the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. And I'm sure they'll get a little healthier here. Well, if no one else can get COVID, they've all had it, right? Knock on wood. Matthews and Bunting, the only 2 fucking guys. So it's literally
they can still get it, but yeah. Yeah, those guys should be back on Wednesday. But what does that solidify? Muzzin's
no, I know. So for the second straight game, they decided to go with Sandin and Magnum. Timothy Liljegren as the second pairing again. Not a lot of options. Dermott stays in. What can you do? No fucking options. But they did play Dahlstrom over Biega, who I don't know much about Dahlstrom, but like I think this guy's probably got a little more potential there of actually maybe being on this team at one point in time. That like Biega is like a stopgap. He's not like, him and his hot MILF wife will be somewhere else next season, right? Like they won't be, there's no long-term plans there. No, Dahlstrom's a prospect.
He's like, a prospect. I don't see him. I don't know.
It's too early to say.
It's too early right now. He wouldn't crack the top 6, but he looked decent, and maybe he's going to get to play. No, actually, he's going to be out because Justin Hall's.
Yeah, he'll be out. But I guess
are Hall and Dermott going to move up into the second pairing?
I think
and
so.
Gonna, Sandin and
or
Liljegren go back down to third pairing.
Maybe not. Maybe they keep Sandin and Liljegren in that second pairing for now, and they just have Hall play with Dermott as your 5-6. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. Like, do you let the two more veteran guys play? It's hard to say what they're going to do there. But I don't think, like, here's what I would say about Sandin and Liljegren. Like, I'm not going to shit on these guys because they're rookies and they're playing higher up the lineup than they should be. Like, I'm convinced at this point in their career, that pairing should be their 5-6. That's where I'm at with that. You agree with that, right? Like, they're not.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think they had a great game last night. I don't think they were terrible either, but they're being played out of position. They're not playing. They shouldn't be 3-4. They just shouldn't be. So
no, Magnum again on the lone Islanders goal. He got schooled by a veteran NHLer. Parise schooled him, and that's going to happen because he's playing out of position and he's learning. But he's got to learn this shit.
Exactly. No, exactly. Yeah, like I said, so I'm not going to jump all over them here. I just think like there's mistakes there and there's a learning curve and they're learning as they go, and learning curve like that one. Keep that in the tip note for
a learning curve.
Possible title.
Makheyev's got a learning curve.
I know, that's right. He's learning good. He's learning quick with that. It's about time. It's about time. Anyway, so
when you find the right curve.
Look at what's happened now. Fuck, man, it's nonstop once you got that right curve.
Just burying it left and right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sandin and Liljegren, I still like those two together as the pairing. I just think obviously they should be the 5-6 pairing, but as of right now, not a lot of options there. And that leads me to, Muzzin again. Now, there's not a lot of options there. That's the whole key of where I want to go with this defensively. Now, look, like regarding the defense going forward, I think that they've got to do something here. I think they need to do something. Like, yeah, they beat the Islanders. Great. That's great. The better teams they played recently, St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, the defense wasn't, the goaltending nor the defense was good enough to like prevent them from coming back. Right. So, and look, I don't know if you're going to agree on this or not, but I don't personally trust Jake Muzzin. I'm talking about the playoffs here. I'm just talking about the playoffs. When we get to playoff time, I don't personally trust Jake Muzzin that he will not get hurt in the playoffs again. Just seems like this guy's becoming very injury prone. He seems to be, it's always something. It seems like with Muzzin, especially come playoff time, this guy's getting.
Couple of years he's been out of the lineup when they've needed him in the lineup for the most important games of the series. But now I know we say injury prone, but you can't really help it. These things are just going to happen. Right?
The way he plays and stuff, right?
It's the way he plays, and it just.
Okay, and that's fine. But so I don't trust it. I don't trust that he's going to be there when we need him to be there.
There's a good chance he could be injured at that time.
So with that said, you can't, and I think we kind of touched on this last podcast, like you cannot go into a playoff series with what we've been looking at the last couple games and expect to fucking beat anybody.
And especially Tampa or Florida.
No fucking way.
You're not going to beat one of the Florida State kids with this defense. Now, dude, I love Magnum and I love Sandin, but if they're going up against those powerhouses as the second pairing, you're fucking done.
That's just it.
Either Jack Campbell stands on his head or you're out in the first round again.
Yeah, dude, like you said, I look at the division and the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and if you want to throw the Bruins in, whatever. Like, I don't think this Leafs team, the way it's currently made up, and like I'm throwing in the injuries and all that, like I'm not convinced that they can beat a Tampa or they can beat a Florida in the playoffs. I just don't personally see it, and that's why.
But is it just the defense? Because I think their forward group could go up against any forward group in the NHL.
Yeah, that forward group we've seen
when they're healthy
is not. I still think there needs to be upgrades there.
Because the last 5 years they've gone out and gotten forwards at the trade deadline.
I know. And we've touched on this. So here's where I'm at. And like, I don't have the guys to say they should target this guy, they should target that guy. There's a couple guys I have in mind, but I believe the Leafs need to make a deal. Sorry, 2 deals or a deal, whatever, to bring in 2 defensemen. However you want to do it. You got to.
Are you talking a number 4 and a depth, or are you talking about 2 guys to play in the top 6?
No, I would go with a number 4 and a depth, definitely. But depending on what happens with Sandin and Liljegren in the playoffs, maybe more. I don't know. Like, we'll see. I want to give those guys some rope and like get them the experience and all that. But like, this is a crucial year, man. I don't particularly want to see Kyle Dubas get fired. I don't really want to see Keith get fired. I'm kind of hoping to see this through with this group here. So whatever they need to do to at least win a fucking round to buy some time here, or get into this, go on a run of any kind. Like, I just think you need some fucking guys back there on the blue line that can help you do that. And I just don't see that at this point with that team. Like, what they've got right now, Hall, Dermott, Sandin, Liljegren, Muzzin, like, I'm not convinced that even is good enough going into a playoff series against the Panthers or the Lightning to get it done.
And I think they know that. I think they know that, but right now it's probably, have you seen a trade, like not a minor trade, but have you seen anything this season? Like with COVID and everything, I don't know. It's like nobody's making deals. But as we get closer, I think once we get into February, once we get past what was supposed to be the Olympic break, past the All-Star game, past teams taking time off, I think you're going to see a lot of deals go down. A lot of deals go down.
So you're looking at, like, with the Leafs, like, you basically have to, I mean, they can't bring in money going forward. Like, they'd be looking. So I don't have the list in front of me of who, this is how much prep I do for the show. I don't have the list in front of me of like UFA defensemen next season, but I know I know Giordano is one of them. I'm not sure who else is, but
I think you can't look at the list of UFAs. This is got, look at Dubas's track record on trades. Okay, like last year's a little different because he went after Nick Foligno, but his track record has always been to kind of get guys that will be on the team a little longer.
I don't think he can do that this time.
He may lose someone off the roster, even though he doesn't want to, but he may have to trade one of these defensemen. And
okay.
You know what I mean? Like he could trade. He could trade, I don't know, Justin Hall or Dermott. Like Dermott's younger. Let's say Dermott.
Yeah.
Dermott's a younger defenseman. Maybe he trades him to a team that's kind of building, and they give us an older defenseman who's got a couple years left.
Like a Seattle.
And on top of that, they throw in like a depth defenseman, right? But they're just trying to get young players.
Yeah, okay, I get that. But I think with the flat okay, so yeah, you're saying money in, money out type thing.
It's got to be money in, money out. But I don't think Dubas will just look at who's a UFA and go for it. He might, but he's going to try to get the best guy available.
Okay, I think that's I agree with that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be money in, money out. If you target a couple UFAs because the cap's going to be flat and you got to try to sign Jack and, you know, whatever you're going to do in the offseason, you can worry about the defense again in the offseason. But I'm just talking for the playoff, like for the spring and a playoff run. Maybe you target a couple UFAs. Maybe you get a team like Seattle or whoever the case may be to just eat some of the fucking money, or not some of it. You eat all of it. We'll give you Dermott and a pick for Giordano. We're not paying him anything. You eat the fucking contract. Here's an extra draft pick for that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't I don't know. We'll see. There's multiple. See. Yeah. Like
we've done this like many times. Everybody does this. They speculate on trades and stuff. And what I've found out is when you're betting on Kyle Dubas, it's never what you think.
No.
Then he comes out with this trade and you're like, what?
But we can definitely agree. He needs to do something here.
Oh, yes. And I think he knows it. Like there's no way him and Shanahan and company are watching these games being like, yeah, we're solid on the back end.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope they're not thinking like we're set here.
Especially if you watch Tampa and Florida. If you watch those two teams play, you can't be like, I think Justin Hall and Dermott, Liljegren, and Sandin are ready for this. They ain't. They're not ready for those guys.
No, they're not.
We haven't even played Florida yet.
I know, that's crazy. I don't know when that's on the schedule, but I am looking forward to it. Is it coming up in February? Do you know?
I think it is. I think it's coming up soon.
Are they coming to Toronto and there'll be no fans there, or?
I'd probably rather that. They don't seem to play good in
Florida. When are the Panthers coming in, or when do they have? No, I don't see a Panthers game on the schedule at all in February.
Oh, maybe it's not till March, really, eh?
I'm looking in March. Jesus Christ, the 27th of March. How can that even be possible for a team in their own division?
I don't know.
How many times are they playing teams from their own division?
That means they're going to play. They're going to play Florida. Like they're going to play. They play them on the 27th, and then they're going to play them what? They play them again like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, they play them on the 27th of March. Then they play them again on the 5th of April. Then they play them again on the 23rd of April. Yeah. So they
get all their games at the end.
Yeah, 3 games against the Panthers right in at the end of the year there. So anyway, so we'll see. Like I just like we said, if you want to be serious about beating Tampa or Florida in the first round, and that's probably who it's going to be, I think the Bruins are only 3 points back now too. So fuck, man. If the Leafs would have lost that game last night, Boston would have only been 1 point behind them, I'm pretty sure. So the Bruins are right there too. So nothing's guaranteed here. But I think
nothing's guaranteed. But I'm 100% on board. They need to upgrade the team.
Okay. So anyway, so we'll see what happens there. I would go like veteran. Personally, I think I would go more veteran presence there, like a Giordano. And instead of like I don't know, I'd have to look around the league and see who might be available. But like, I kind of wouldn't mind a guy who's like, you got a former Norris Trophy winner with Giordano. He knows Brody extremely well. Brody and him were fucking a great pair together, and you could even do that at times. You want a fucking a new penalty kill pair, like maybe, you know what I mean? Like you reunite Brody with like Giordano killing penalties, and who knows? Like there's just different options there, but we'll see what Doobie does. But man. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. I don't really have anything else on the Leafs for this one. We got a segment coming up and a couple things to end the show on. Unless you got anything else, Leafs, or you want to take a break and hit the Seggy?
No. Let's not even take a break. Let's just hit the Seggy.
You want to just hit the Seggy, or you want to take a quick?
No, let's just hit the Seggy. The crowd's sick of listening to our commercials.
Okay, man. All right.
Let's just hit the Seggy. We're gonna get into it. We'll talk quickly. Let's just do the Leaf schedule coming up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And when they can catch us talking more Leaf talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What the Leaf schedule was.
Yeah, it's still very light for the rest of this month, right? So they're going home to play the Anaheim Ducks on Wednesday night, I think. Yeah, as far as I know, there's no more cancellations. All that, everything's a go. So they've got the next couple days off. They're playing the Ducks at home on Wednesday night, their first home game since the 5th of January. And then another couple days off. And next Saturday, they play the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit, Hockey Day in Canada for that game. So, we'll probably be back maybe after the Ducks game to do a midweek podcast and see if fucking Emilio Estevez was in town.
We'll
Flying V, baby.
We'll keep our eyes peeled. We'll keep our eyes peeled.
Big time.
All right, so now we're going to do the Saturday Night 5 tonight. Saturday Night 5 is top 5 SNL cast members. Let's hit it right now.
It's Saturday Night 5 with Chad and Dale.
All right, so here we go. The Saturday Night 5, top 5 SNL cast members. I've picked my top 5 SNL cast members. Dale's picked his top 5 SNL cast members.
Way too many to do just 5 here. Did we hit the music? Yeah, we already hit the music. Eh?
Yeah, we hit the music already.
Okay. Yeah, there was way too many to do just like 5 total here. We had to do 5 each, and we could have done 10 each. Easy. So this is tough. And let's just like, basically, these are, everyone would put together a list and it could all be different, right? These are my favorite SNL cast members. Just my personal favorite. Like, there's a lot of, when you're only choosing 5 and there's been hundreds or 100 people in the cast of the show.
There's been so many good ones.
Yeah.
Like there's been so many good cast members. So many stars have come out of this show. So here we go.
Okay. You want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
My number 5 coming in. I got a new one at my number 5.
It's going to be interesting to see if we have to have at least one the same here. I would be shocked if we didn't.
I tried to get someone off the cast today onto it because I still liked it or whatever. But anyway, my number 5 coming in is Kate McKinnon.
Okay. Excellent choice. 5. Excellent choice.
She's carried this show, man, for years. She's hilarious. She's dynamite. Kate McKinnon, number 5.
Okay, okay, so let's just do this then. Just to save time, and we can probably cut it a little shorter. My number 4 was Kate McKinnon. She also made my list. Now that says fucking highly. That speaks like how we've been watching that show for fucking years. That just speaks of how highly we think of her. To put her in our top, we each had her in our top 5 favorites of all time. She's incredible. She's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
man.
Her impressions, her everything she does, she saves skits all the time. Like if she's in a skit, it gets better.
She is great. By far, in my personal opinion, out of the new cast members in the last however many years, 5 years or so, by far. Throw her in any skit and she makes it fucking better, no matter what the fucking skit is. So
yeah, Kate McKinnon.
She's great. Okay, so you had her at 5. I had her at 4. My number 5, all-time classic. My only original cast member in my top 5. I'm going way back to 1975. I wasn't even alive when this fucking show started. But man, my only original cast member, number 5 on my list. I absolutely fucking love this guy. It's Chevy Chase, baby. It's Chevy Chase.
You got Chevy on
it's Chevy Chase. We're talking about not only, he wasn't on SNL for that long a time, but the National Lampoon's movies that he did after SNL. What else did he do? Fucking, what's the golf movie? Caddyshack, and all-time classic fucking Caddyshack, and a very underrated Chevy Chase movie. Because all he did was chase them off around in this one. Fletch.
Oh, I was just going to say Fletch. Fletch is a great movie. It's a great movie.
So yeah, man, I had to get my boy. Shout out. We love Chevy Chase on this podcast. Had to get. Did you have him or no?
I didn't have Chevy on my list.
So I'm glad I put him on that. Chevy Chase, number 5.
Number 5. I like it. Okay, number 4 for me. I'm going back to the original cast. I believe he was in the original cast. Okay, but this guy, man, he had energy like you would not believe. He brought it night in, night out. He saved the skit, but he didn't last long because he passed away in 1982.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with this, but now
John Belushi.
I thought you were going with his partner in crime.
The Canadian Dan Aykroyd did not make my list.
Belushi, good pick. Yeah, he was awesome. He was fucking awesome.
Oh man, he was.
Blues
insane.
Brothers, dude. Classic shit. Did that start on Saturday Night Live? It
Blues
did.
Brothers, Animal House. Yeah, it started on SNL. Animal House. Wow. He was so good in Animal House.
When you think of everything that SNL has spawned, like it's fucking crazy, man. It is crazy. Yeah,
he was the sushi chef with the giant sword. He used to play the Incredible Hulk at parties and stuff. Where
the sushi chef, that shit was fucking great, man.
He'd do those skits where, as the Incredible Hulk, he'd be painted green with the clothes ripped, and he'd just walk around drunk at parties and stuff. He was John Belushi, man, hit it out of the park, but he died at 33, same as another guy on SNL.
Yeah. Okay. So
you already said Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon. That was my number 4. So I'm jumping right to 3 here. So I had Chevy Chase at 5, Kate McKinnon at 4. I'm going right to number 3. Now, this is so hard, man. My top 3 of all time. But when I go back to thinking about the show, like in the 90s, there was a lot of great cast members, early 2000s, whatever. But this is my favorite female Saturday Night Live cast member. And there is a bunch of really good, like I left several good ones off here, but this is my favorite female Saturday Night Live cast member in the history of the show. It's Kristen Wiig. It's Kristen Wiig, man.
Wiig, man. We had the same number 3.
Oh yeah, she just to me is she can do it all. Absolutely everything. She's doing the singing, the dancing, comedy, like just
great
everything.
Characters, great impressions, just everything. Funny.
The Target fucking employee is some
Target
of the
lady.
Best shit I've ever seen. Like, yeah, it's just
yeah.
There's nothing that she's done that I like. She just cracks me up. I just find her absolutely fucking a brilliant comedic actress. And yeah, like Bridesmaids is the movie, the one like big movie that she made.
She's made a ton, but yeah, Bridesmaid was probably her biggest.
That movie was
just
hilarious.
amazing.
When she's high on the fucking plane, she's in coach, but she's trying to get in up to first class, and she's high as a fucking kite, but she keeps trying it.
Yeah.
Like putting on disguises and shit.
No, all she does is put on sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's great. Love Kristen Wiig. Anything you want to add? So we want to add anything about Kristen Wiig?
No, you said it all, man.
One quick thing about her. There's this one. Okay, they used to do a throwback. There was like a show in the 70s or maybe even earlier. Oh, I can't remember. It was like a musical variety show, and it was like a dude and like his daughters or whatever. I don't know. They used to do this skit based on Saturday Night Live, based off of a real life show. It was like a PBS show. Do you know what I'm talking about? And she was like, all the daughters were like attractive and good looking.
Oh yeah.
Sing and dance.
And she had the tiny hands.
She had just the tiny hands, and she was
big
like,
forehead.
Couldn't sing and like couldn't dance, but she was like, yeah, dude, that was some of the fucking best shit that they. Yeah, that was great. Like, absolutely love that shit. You couldn't see the hands at first, but all of a sudden, like they start popping into the picture. Oh fuck, man, Kristen Wiig, absolutely classic shit there. All right, let's jump. Let's keep going.
All right.
You going right to 2 then? Because Kristen Wiig was 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna go right to 2.
Okay, so far,
and remember, this is our favorites. You could have a totally different top 5, but this is our favorite.
So far, we've only said 3 of our 5 each. 2 of them have been the same, and they've both been.
But you got to remember,
and Wiig.
We're the same age. We grew up,
I know.
up watching the same shit.
But out of all, like, I can list you when we're done with this list. I could have list you another 4 or 5 girls easy that I could have put on this list.
Oh yeah, like I could have put Amy Poehler on this list.
Yeah,
like there are so many good actors like Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Dan Aykroyd, Dana Carvey. I didn't have them on my list. They all could have been on my list.
No, for sure. Like Amy Poehler, Tina Fey. I love Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph's hilarious. There's tons of them. But anyway, okay.
But when it came down to it, I was just like you. I was like, to me, Kristen Wiig is the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
To me.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, number 2 on my list. Number 2, this is no surprise to anybody.
I think usually when we do stuff like this, we don't hit it in sequence here. I think this time we might have the same 1 and 2. I think it's very likely.
This is no surprise. He may go down as the greatest SNL cast member of all time.
Yep.
But it's Will Ferrell.
Yep.
At number 2 for me.
Same.
Is there anything that Will Ferrell did on SNL that wasn't funny?
No.
He knocked it out of the park from wearing that bathing suit, like the banana hammock with the American flag on it for the 4th of July to the Spartans, to everything that he did.
Dude, the sketch, probably my favorite ever Will Ferrell sketch. I don't even think he said a word in the entire sketch. Christopher Walken, they're in the music studio. Jimmy Fallon's playing fucking drums.
The cowbell.
More cowbell, baby. I got a fever. The only prescription's more cowbell. Will Ferrell doesn't say anything. He just
he does. No, he has a line. He's like, "Hey, last time I checked, we didn't have too many songs that featured the cowbell."
All he does in the whole skit is stand right beside the lead singer and bang the fucking cowbell on the microphone.
It's unbelievable. Will Ferrell,
so great. He used to do like there's hot tub skits where he's like, just unbelievable shit. And then for him to go on the career he's had outside of SNL, like Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, all the Anchorman. Well, no, both Anchorman movies. I know I'm leaving several out, but like, oh Jesus Christ, old school.
Oh, old
Frank
school,
the
man.
Tank.
Frank
like, yeah,
the Tank.
man.
Yeah,
Just-
Will Ferrell, definitely, but he wasn't my number one.
No,
Like, he
was my number
all-time
2.
Classic.
He was my number 2 as well. Dude, our 3-2-1. Okay, so my number 3 was Kristen Wiig. So was yours. My number 2, Will Ferrell. So was yours.
If I had to pick Chevy or you had picked John Belushi, we'd have the same top 5.
So far, I think our number 1 is going to be the same. I might
But
be wrong here,
it
but
kind of suits our personalities that you would go more with Chevy and I would go more with John Belushi.
yeah, that makes sense.
So
Okay,
anyway,
so
you're
here it is
up.
then.
You're
Here
up.
it is.
See
The
if we
number
got the same one.
in my opinion, the number 1 Saturday Night Live cast member of all time. Party on, Wayne. It's the good old Scarborough boy, big Leafs fan, Mike Myers. That's
I'm glad
one.
he's not my number 1.
Oh, wow.
But I am glad you picked him because he just didn't make my top 5.
Oh, I couldn't, dude. I looked at like the things he's spawned outside of SNL.
He was one of my favorite cast members on SNL. But when I was looking at like all time, he would have been number 6. Maybe I could have put him where John Belushi was.
I kind of had a homer. There's a homer in me that I'm like, I got to put Myers in there.
Good Canadian boy, good Leaf fan.
Loves the Leafs. Good Canadian Scarborough boy. But dude, outside of SNL, like the two Wayne's World movies, which two of my favorite movies of all time, fucking Wayne's World, and Austin Powers, man. Like the Austin Powers franchise was fucking huge. We're looking just at SNL. No, I know, but just the stuff he's done the stuff these people have done outside of it.
One of the best things that he did was Wayne Gretzky hosted SNL, and it was a terrible show because Wayne can't act. But the best skit in that show is Wayne Gretzky goes on Wayne's World. And they play hockey against each other. It's a great skit. But then at the end, Wayne Gretzky's like, I've always wanted to host my own show. I thought about calling it Wayne's World. And Mike Myers is like, well, Wayne, due to copyright laws, that's not possible because
that's funny. And he also did fucking Shrek too.
Yeah. Oh, he had some huge movies, but he also did the Love Guru.
Oh, I know. Mike Myers. I don't know who your number 1 is. I think I could peg it. I think I have 2 guesses that I think I know who. I would narrow it down to 2 people personally.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, my number 1, honestly, this guy was in the 90s. I was obsessed with this guy. Like, I loved it. He made me belly laugh. He was just phenomenally funny. And this is going to give it away. But the day that he died crushed me. It crushed me. I was like the first time anyone I had ever really, really known had died. And that is Chris Farley.
Yeah,
Chris Farley's my number 1. That guy gave it every skit, from living in a van down by the river to just wearing tight clothes, and he was so good.
Oh, so dude, the
Tommy Boy and
the Chippendales sketch with Patrick Swayze, all-time classic shit there, man. All-time classic. Yeah.
Patrick Swayze's name in that skit is Adrian. What's Chris Farley's name?
Oh, I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It's Barney.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, they even gave them kind of like Adrian, the sexy guy, and then Barney. Like, who's gonna go to Chippendales to watch the overweight Barney dance?
That skit was absolutely hilarious, man. Yeah. Watching Farley up there with fucking Patrick Swayze in Swayze's heyday, like Jesus.
Oh man, they're both gone though. Both of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Farley, like the day he died, I don't know if you remember, I was gutted, man. I was like, what? Chris Farley's dead? And then when you get older and you're like, holy shit, he had a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Well, how many SNL cast members have fucking passed away, right?
I know.
It's a lot, but good pick. I kind of thought you were gonna maybe go Sandler there. I thought you were gonna go Sandler, and think so. No Sandler on either one of our lists. No
Sandler.
Like a bunch of people, like you, dude. I literally could have made three.
We could have even went way back. We could have picked Bill Murray and Gilbert Radner. And
I know. There's
all these people. We didn't do Phil Hartman. There was Fred Armisen and like Bill Hader, the Californians.
I know.
All that
even Fallon, like when Fallon was on SNL, Fallon's great, man. Fallon.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
I guess
he did some great skits like Andy Gibb and stuff like that.
His impressions were fucking, I thought, always really good. And I just thought Fallon was him. And whenever him and Horatio Sands would get like do sketches together, I thought
they couldn't keep a straight face.
They did. There's this sketch with Fallon and Horatio Sands where they're like Italian vineyard and they're corking wines, wine corkers.
You got to soak the cork. You got to soak.
Corksoakers.
Corksoakers.
There's the podcast title right there. Corksoakers.
Corksoakers.
Janet Jackson's in the sketch, and they're talking about corksoakers. Like, yeah, it is.
My wife has not soaked a cork in years.
So fucking good. That is a great fucking sketch there. But anyway, so many. But so who do you think then is the richest SNL cast member of all time? Like after from what they've gone on to do outside of the show, who would you say?
I would have to say it's Will Ferrell.
I wouldn't
maybe
say that.
Mike Myers.
Oh, I think it's Sandler.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's Sandler. He owns the Happy Gilmore production company.
I think Ferrell and Myers would be, because of Shrek and Austin Powers. I think Myers would be right up there. Yeah. I think Myers probably more so than Ferrell. Like Anchorman is like the biggest thing Ferrell might be known for outside of SNL, and that's nowhere near fucking Shrek or Austin Powers, right? Is it? I don't think it is.
Yeah, you're right, but he's pumped out. That Happy Gilmore production company has pumped out like every movie with Sandler or his buddies in it.
Yeah,
he's making money off it.
Maybe Chris Rock. Chris Rock was on SNL. He's a pretty wealthy guy too. But
yeah, Chris Rock was great on SNL. Phil Hartman was great on SNL.
So many, man. So many. Anyway, okay, so that's it. So we had three the same. Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, and
Kate McKinnon.
And then you went with Belushi. I went with Chevy Chase. You went with Farley. I went with Mike Myers. So good list, I would say. Good lists.
Yeah, very good list.
Maybe we should have just went with, and maybe we'll do this one in the future because there's going to be a lot more of these coming of the female variety. Maybe we just do a top 5 SNL females of all time. And I'm talking like, no, I don't care about their acting ability. just
like the best looking.
The best looking. Maybe even a little bit of acting, little bit.
Yeah, I think on SNL you'd have to do because like when they're really good and really funny, they become a little sexy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like you may not think Tina Fey's sexy, but then you see her on Update and you're like, yeah, she's. Yeah.
No, I could put that list together in literally 10 minutes. Yeah. Like lickety split.
Oh, we didn't even mention another great SNL cast member that passed away this year, Norm Macdonald.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't no Weekend Update guys or gals. Do you think he's the best Weekend Update like person who ever did Weekend Update?
I don't think he's the best that ever did it. He was really good.
Who do you think's better?
My favorite was Tina and Amy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they were great.
But just solo.
Did Fallon replace Amy or did Amy replace Fallon? Because it used to be Fallon and Tina. Oh yeah, he left to start doing his own show, and then it became
Tina and Amy, and then it was Amy and Seth, and then just Seth.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Tina and Amy were fucking awesome. 100% for sure, man. But anyway, so there it is. Another Saturday night, another Tip In Saturday Night 5 in the books. Top 5 SNL cast members of all time.
That's it, baby. That's it. So anything else you got to add?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Hit me with what you got. Yes. Hit me.
So listen to this. There's a new, check this out, man. There is a new documentary, a new doc series coming out on the Playboy Mansion. I believe it starts Monday, the 24th of January, I believe. I think it's going to be on A&E. I think it's called The Secrets of Playboy. Okay, there's been several documentaries done on the Playboy Mansion and all this, but specifically, I've been seeing some of the previews. They're talking about, have you seen any of the previews for it or anything?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, they have got like some inside information going down here, like Playboy bunnies that lived there over the years, like cook staff, like wait staff, housekeeping staff, like all involved in this. So they're just exposing secrets left and right. And they're talking about like all these wild parties, which is not an unknown thing. Crazy orgies. Like they had like quaaludes, I think were like the common thing back in like the 70s. They used to call them leg spreaders. They used to call
that's nice.
I know, right? That's like there's a fucking butler or something. He's saying you give a girl half a quaalude, leg spreader. That's what we used to do here. But we're talking like 70s, 80s. Like this is, the cancel culture of today was not a fucking thing back then. It was like, and anything goes at the fucking Playboy Mansion in the fucking 70s. Think about it, man. Crazy orgies, all that shit. But here's what I found most fascinating about what's going to be on this docuseries. Hugh Hefner had a love for animals. He had I think he had like a zoo on the fucking premises, but he specifically had pets that were kept inside. There was a lot of dogs there. So did you see, they're saying that the Playboy Mansion dogs, all the dogs that lived at the Playboy Mansion in the 70s and 80s were addicted to cocaine.
What?
Yes. The dogs.
Because it was just laying around everywhere?
It was just laying around. The dogs would sniff it up. They would be licking it up. They had no idea. The dogs were jonesing for coke. There was one of the staff members is telling a story about how the dogs were all spazzing out and wouldn't stop fucking barking. They couldn't sleep. All they wanted to do was fucking have sex and
and do blow.
There would be parties there every night. So these dogs were doing coke every night, staying up all night, fucking just getting random coke. Think about how much coke would be all around, big orgies in one room, just a big fucking cocaine session in the next room.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Did those dogs have a lifespan of 2 years?
I don't know. They didn't go on to say that, but we're talking, different big German shepherds, different to tiny little dogs, all kinds of dogs. So man, those animals were living a better life than some humans in the fucking 70s.
Some humans?
Jesus Christ.
They were living a better life than most of the planet.
Dude, these dogs were waking up an average day at the Playboy Mansion for these fucking pooches. They wake up, okay? They're probably seeing naked chicks everywhere. They get some fucking food. Maybe they go for a little dip in the pool. They fucking take a little nap around lunchtime. Get up, another little bite to eat. Sun goes down. Hot chicks in bikinis everywhere. They're probably sniffing asses all over the place. Little cocaine party in the fucking in the Guado. Is that what it was called? The Guado?
No idea.
I think it was a Guado. Little cocaine party in the Guado for the pooches. Stay up all night. Get up, do it all again. These dogs were living the life I wanted to fucking live.
Fucking lucky dogs.
Those lucky motherfuckers. But anyway, so stay tuned if you want to check that out. That is a true story, by the way. I am not making that up. If you want to check it out, it's going to be on A&E starting, I believe, Monday night. So tune into that. I'm tuning in just to see the fucking dog situation. No, that's not really why I'm tuning in, but I find it very fascinating.
Yeah, it's like when you buy a Playboy magazine, right? You're tuning in for the information,
right?
Not for the girls.
Do people still buy Playboy magazines? I guess they probably do.
I think they probably have an online subscription.
I don't know. There's still magazine racks in stores and shit, right? Online subscription.
Yeah,
okay.
I think most people get their magazines delivered to their house now, but most people would because you want to read it on your phone, right?
You're right. Now, before we get off that quickly, I don't know. I know Hefner had, like I said, I think he had zoo animals in there shit too. He might have had a giraffe or fucking monkeys. Now, I don't know if the monkeys were getting into the cocaine or what. Was it just the dogs? Were the other animals running loose? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to tune into that docuseries to find out because I need to know these dogs, man. I'm just going to sit there just wide-eyed jealous of how jealous I am of these fucking dogs.
This isn't Hugh Hefner or some other
Playboy dogs.
Some other I saw on YouTube one time. It was some other billionaire, and he had, I forget who it was, but he had an orangutan, right? And he had golf carts and shit. And the orangutan would just fucking hop in the golf cart with a pair of aviators and just drive around the property. He looked like a human. He would just wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and then he'd hop in the golf cart, just a shirt on, no pants, Winnie the Pooh, and just fucking drive around in a golf cart. That's animals awesome. That get adopted by billionaires They live better
Yeah.
lives than me.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So just to wrap up the dogs doing cocaine at the Playboy Mansion situation, I wonder if the dogs, like, full on orgies for everybody who went there. I wonder if the dogs were the same. Like, do you think the dogs got all fucking scoobied up on Scooby snacks with the fucking cocaine, and they were just having full on fucking dog orgies? Like, do you think it was just a full on like fuck session for the Playboy Mansion dogs?
Maybe.
Like,
I'd be perfectly honest with you. I've never thought about it.
If you got a pooch wired on fucking cocaine every day, he's probably looking to fucking get some fucking pounding in there. He's gonna be wanting to
kind of like aggressive. Like you're like,
oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's gonna make you more aggressive.
Like, yeah, but when you be like, hey pooch, and they bite you or growl or.
Now I'll tell you this: if you got a little, you might want to stay clear of those pooches, because if you got a little Mississippi Leghound in you,
you just wait till he's done.
He's not going to be done. He'll never finish if he's doing fucking coke all the time. He's never going to be done.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So check it out on A&E.
Yeah, we'll see what that goes. Yeah. So listen to this. So I don't know, like nowadays, like porn watching, I'm just going to keep it on this. Like, I'll get off the dogs, but I'm going to teach you a little health lesson here. Okay. Like, dudes in porn now seem to be younger, and the chicks kind of seem to be older. You're getting a lot of stepson, stepmom kind of shit here. Like, that's a very, popular thing, MILFs and all this and whatever. So, but a lot of the younger dudes in porn right now, like, there's a bunch of younger dudes coming in. They don't look like 20 years old, maybe. Like super young. And they're fucking these hot fucking older MILF porn stars. These guys have it fucking made. But all these dudes tend to have huge hammers. Like, that's just the thing. They tend to, but like you got a 20-year-old dude who is getting paid to show up to work to have fucking sex with a hot MILF fucking porn star. But they were also saying, like, a lot of these older, I've only ever met one porn star in life, like in person in my life ever. And
who was it?
She's not a current porn star. Her name was Kendra Jade.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. Well, Google her and you'll see. She doesn't do porn anymore, but tiny. She's only like 5. But this is where I'm going with this. She was very tiny, like 5 feet tall, like super tiny. And they were saying, like, a lot of the they were saying a lot of these younger guys with like huge hammers is deceiving, because some of the girls, or a lot of the girls, are tiny. Like, they have tiny hands and they're just tinier girls, and it makes the guys' dicks look bigger. Do you think there's anything to that?
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know,
a little
man.
Trick photography.
Basically. Now,
it's like, have you ever bought one of those mini cans of pop? It makes your hand look like a giant when you're drinking it, because you're like, look how small it is.
That's right.
So it's kind of like that. But actually, I didn't meet her personally, but she was. I saw her in downtown Toronto. I saw. Oh God, she's not in porn anymore. She does a sports thing now. Her name slipped my mind. Oh my God! But I saw her in downtown Toronto, and she was tiny too.
Not Lisa Ann.
Lisa Ann.
Are you serious?
She was in downtown Toronto by the.
She is back. And sorry to tell you, she is back doing porn.
Oh, she is. She was doing sports for a while.
Yes, she was, but now she is back doing porn. She might be dabbling in both, but she 100% is doing porn again.
Well,
I know that for a fact.
You would be the man to ask.
I know that for a fact.
But anyway, I was on the one side of Yonge Street. She was on the other, and there was like a crowd around her. This was kind of by Q107 by the Eaton Center.
Yep.
And there were people taking pictures, and it just happened to click in my head. I've seen that girl before. No, in all honesty, like in 3 seconds, I was like, holy fuck, it's Lisa Ann.
That's awesome.
Anyway, same thing. Like, she had heels on, but I still remember guys like me and you taking pictures were good 5-6 inches taller than her.
Crazy.
She was tiny. She was small.
Man. Okay, so let me get to
small,
this.
Height-wise.
Yeah, height-wise. Dimensions.
Dimensions new.
Now let's get so I'll go out of this. I was kind of leading into this with that in regards to okay, I was reading some medical information on, penis pumps. Okay. Penis pumps.
Okay.
So in regard to like, you take the pump, like medical training, like we're talking about dick health here. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay. There's a whole training protocol, and this is a whole thing. But basically, so like just like exercise, you get up, you go for a run, you go for a walk, work out, whatever the case may be, get a sweat on. Well, apparently there's this whole training regimen with like dick pumps. You put in a full session. Like you can put your balls in if you want. You don't have to. You can just put your dick in. And apparently, like circulation, it does incredible things for your circulation. It can do great things for your prostate. No, this is serious. Man. You can but it also apparently just makes your fucking dick look huge, like massively huge, like bulging veins, Incredible Hulk, fucking huge. I've never personally tried a penis pump. Okay. Considering it now, but never personally tried one. But here's the thing. If you're new, now this is just, keep in mind here, we're not medical professionals, but this is just what I've heard medical advice wise, information out there. If you're new, recommended 10 pumps for beginners. 10. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about? The penis pump, like,
I think we all know. We all know what a penis pump
is. And it's got a pump. So I don't know how, you have to cap it or cup it, I guess, and you just start pumping it, and I guess it just expands your fucking penis. But it does many more. It has many more benefits to health benefits. But 10 pumps maximum for a beginner. You don't want to go over that. But if you're a veteran, 30 pumps is the absolute maximum. Like we're talking,
if you hit 31, it's over.
No, it'll explode. Your penis will explode. It'll be gone. It's gone. You pump it past 30.
What if an amateur just is like, I can handle 30 and goes for it right on the first day?
You're done. It's game over. But this is where it gets really interesting. This is about to take a turn I do not think you're going to see coming. Okay. Now, apparently there was a study done. Okay. There was a study done with older guys. Okay. We're talking about a group of elderly dudes with walkers, wheelchairs, not very mobile gentlemen. Okay. These people not feeling good at all. Like arthritis, some of them had just different health problems as well. Some of them could barely walk. Apparently there was a study done. So they hooked them up to the pumps. They get these old guys in there. They start hooking them up to the pumps. And it was like fucking the fountain of youth, man. Penis pumps, the fountain of fucking youth. These guys felt like they were into their fucking 20s again. Their groins were glistening like brand new. And all of a sudden, the walkers disappeared. The wheelchairs started disappearing. They were up. They started being active again. They were playing sports. They were fucking playing hopscotch and doing cartwheels. A bunch of the guys started like chasing them off around again. And these are elderly gentlemen, right?
There's no way. There's no way this is true. There's no way.
So basically, aging in reverse. That's what I'm saying. Basically, aging in reverse. These are the health benefits.
I don't get it.
The penis pump.
I don't get how.
Dude, it's fucking science, man. It's just science.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with it. It's science.
It's just fucking science. So, hey, no matter what age you are, if you're just beginning, keep it low. 10 pumps. You don't want to go over that. But give it a try. If you're older, you're feeling lethargic, you have arthritis problems, you can't maybe get her up, you're looking to get back into the muff diving, well, give it a shot because apparently it works wonders. I should have saved that for a tip.
We should disclaimer, we're not medical experts in any way.
No, it might not work. It could be a placebo effect. Maybe you got like a hot nurse in there that sticks your old, you stick your old dick into a penis pump. You got a hot nurse in there pumping it up. You might start feeling a little tingly down there where you haven't felt before in a long time. So maybe it's just a placebo thing. It might have nothing to do with the pump, but apparently it's great for prostate health and just overall blood circulation. Might make your dick bigger, might make you start chasing them off around again. So you're welcome, folks. I should have saved that for a tip. I don't know what I was thinking. That's a free one. That's a freebie. That's a freebie.
Tip. Free tip. All right. Well, I guess on that note, we might as well bring it to an end.
If you have an elderly person in your life, an elderly gentleman, maybe your grandfather's feeling a little blue nowadays, whatever.
Get him a penis pump.
Penis pump for birthday or Christmas or the next holiday.
Just for, thanks for being you.
Yeah. Or you just, send them a copy of this podcast and say, listen, these boys know what's up here. You want to
I don't listen.
No. And I don't. Look, I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it. I don't know what you're talking about. Penis pump? Never even seen one. But
I can literally see the pump in the background.
What? Oh, no. Let's get that out of there. What's that doing there?
For the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, on Twitter at the Tip In podcast. Hit up our YouTube channel at the Tip In Maple Leaf podcast. Hit like and subscribe. If you like what you listen to, go to patreon.com/the Tip In podcast, and you can donate to the page for as little as a cup of coffee to help support us. And until next time, we will
pump it up, pump up the jams, pump it up, pump up the jams. Catch you later. Go Leafs, go. Let's get the pumps going in the dressing room this week, boys. Catch you later.